Hello everyone, this is Eddie Reyes with Jurex Bar, and today we're going to talk about making the most complex performance test. We're going to make it easy in just 2 steps, and you will see why do I say this is the most complex performance test, because it was administered in February 2020 and the passage rate, of course, was the lowest in California bar exam history, 26.8. Let's get right down to it. By the way, I am going to mention the steps, and these steps are described in detail in the free ebook relating to the performance test. I'll include a link there at the bottom. It is free. You do have to opt in with your email, but you can always opt out. It's not a problem. Let's get right to it. And the 2 steps that I am going to mention here are the major issues. And the other step number 7, is what I call rules disguised as facts. We'll get to that later. And why are the major issues important? Is because it gives you structure. Now, I did notice that for a lot of the answers that did not get a passing score, they did not find the major issues. I want you to find the major issues. The major issues is a thing. Now, before the California bar exam went on 2 days, they would give you the major issues maybe in the memorandum. They don't do that anymore. Now it requires a certain technique. Now, using my technique, you find them fast. First, you identify. First, you write. You contextualize what's a major issue, and then you know what to look for. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the wrong approach. The little booby traps that they set up. And we're also going to look at answers that received a 70. And that belongs to baressays.com. So I just want to put it out there. Let's go and look at the major issues. This is step number 2. And for the first part, I have 7 steps. Okay, so I'm going to just skip the task. And let's see what the wrong choices were for the major issues. So here we go. This is the memorandum, right? And then we are going to go into the first document, which is a letter from the opposing attorney's office, right? And look what they say here. It says here, we make a request. Okay, let's see now. In order to avoid the waste of time and money, right? And to expend time and money on such a motion would be needlessly wasteful. Now, many of the non-passing answers use that as the major issues, and that was wrong. Why is it wrong? And what I always tell my students is this: do not, at this point, when you are first trying to identify the major issues, do not focus on what could be relevant, right? It goes against what you've been told, okay? You got to find what's relevant. No, at this stage, if you want to find the major issues, which you do, and if you want to find them fast, focus on what is apparent. Think about it. You're focusing on what is apparent. And I'm going to show you right now what is apparent. So we go to page 2 of their letter. Now look here, you have an issue, right? You have a legal issue. And you have something that is apparent. Now usually they have something that is enumerated, either with actual numbers, or it'll say first this issue, then second that issue. This time they didn't. They did something slightly different, but it was still apparent. Look at it. So here's the issue here. Intertwine, and then it says a pre-existing relationship, and so it is here. It gives you a case, so it is here. Look here at the bottom. Again, a direct benefit, the case, so it is here. So when I saw that, I actually focused on that, but I said, wait a minute, I don't see numbers. And I skimmed the rest of the file. Then I said, that's got to be the major issue. And guess what? Yes, the structure is there. It is apparent, right? It has a certain structure, and it's a little tricky, but I mean, still, it has that certain pattern. And I said, okay, I ran with that. Let's go. Got these 2 major issues. And let's look at 2 answers. Let's go there now. I'm going to label this sample 1 This received a 70, again, baressays.com, property of, and let's see what they wrote. Okay, again, I'm going to skip the task. I'm assuming that you already know that because we're focused on the major issues right now. Okay, so let's see what they wrote. Okay, so here's our first heading. It's not intertwined. Okay, they got it. They got the first heading. They ran with that. Right, now what about the second heading? Direct benefit, right there. Do you see that? Now the way that it was set up was that you had a major issue, right? And we already talked about that. And then for the rules, they did something different. They actually had rules that did not apply to the argument that the opposing attorney was making. They said, we have a party here that is not a signatory, and we're going to compel the party who is a signatory. That sounds like blah, blah, right? Anyway, it did not fit their fact pattern. It was not on point. And so that was a bit tricky, but if you got the major issue, you got those rules, you would have ran through the analysis. Now, let's look at the other model answer there. Well, it's not a model answer. It's a 70 from baressays.com. But for this purpose, it is a model answer, right? Because, hey, if you get a 70 on the PT, I mean, come on, that's great. You do want to model these responses. Let's see what they have. Let's see, yeah, right there, intertwined, the issue right there, pre-existing relationship. So what they did was they broke it down in two, right? You have that first issue, they just broke it down in two. It's great, it'll still work. And then, of course, they have direct benefit right there, right? So they have the major issues. Then you just do the analysis. So that is the first part that I want to discuss. You need to identify the major issues, preferably first, right? And then you go on and get your rule. But we're not focused on the rules right now, the major rules. Okay. Now, if you made it through this all the way through to this part, I'm going to share a secret with you. Why do I call it a secret? I don't like calling it a secret, because it sounds like something like from, right, Harry Potter or something. Okay, but get this, 100% of the time since July 2017, when the Cal Bar exam went from 3 days to 2 days, all right, you're going to find this component. So if you made it through, I do want you to bookmark this video. I want you to watch it over and over again, because I'm telling you, if you're getting 55, 60s, you get this part, you're going to get it fast. It could just elevate your grade, take you to the next level. But here is the secret, okay? And you look at the facts. And if you look very closely, you're going to actually see that the facts in the library are actually a key rule or a key component. What is it? A rule, a sub-rule, element, factor, whatever you want to call it. Okay, it's going to be a nice little rule there. I'll show you right now. Let's go to it. Okay, so I am going to go back to the performance test, and bear with me. So right here, okay, I'm reading this and I'm looking. It says, hey, look, okay, these might be facts. It might not be as important. And by the way, this is step 7. This is the step that I call discovering the sub rules that take on the appearance of facts. They're in disguise. So rules are in disguise. Read the book. Step number 7. Okay. And look, it says here, in any event, and this was key. I mean, if you got this, just like in the 70s, all right, and if you did a proper analysis, you would have gotten a passing score. Look at it. It says, in any event, okay, we believe that whether a non-signatory, which was Western, or our client, has sought or determined a direct benefit, which is what the opposing parties is alleging, right? Okay, from the contract, should turn ultimately on what the non-signatory has done. What has Western done in this case? In other words, effectively suing on the contract. So what they're saying is this: they're giving you a rule, which the opposing counsel is alleged, and then they are giving you an exception to the rule. Do you guys see that? And the reason why many did not recognize this as a key rule or a sub rule or a sub element or a factor, whatever you want to call it, is because we're not used to, right? And when I say we, as people who go through law school, we're not used to seeing, right, of looking at facts and establishing facts as rules. But this is the performance test section, all right? So you have to do that. Now, I did share the secret with you, okay? So now you know. And again, if you have not gotten the book, go ahead and get it now. And again, if I do want you to watch this video again and share this with someone who you know that is taking the California bar exam. So I hope this helped. I wish you all the best. Until soon.